I'm not sure how far I'm gonna go with this idea in terms of like this being a part of the Black History Month series, but recently I've been getting into Yellow Jackets. What do I mean by that? I mean that I have been consuming every bit, that all the scraps from the Yellow Jackets community. I've never watched an episode. I'm too scared. I'm not like I have seen worse things. Like, that's not the discussion. Well, actually, I don't know because I haven't seen it. But like, I've seen gory things. You know, it's not like I'm just scared of any sort of blood. But like, I don't know. I just feel like I'm not really willing to be invested, or I don't know. Well, because no, because I am invested. I am invested, actually. So it's not that. It's just like, I guess I don't want to build up the stomach for it. Like, to see blood and guts, that's not an everyday thing. You know, it's not like just turn on the TV. Oh, blood and guts are there per usual. That's, you know, that's not in, just because it's not like I'm not trying to say that Yellow Jackets is like evil for doing that. Like, that's not it. It's just like, I'm just not really interested right now in spending my time watching people eat each other. But I'm really interested, like, I'm interested enough, or I guess not a part of it is that I've seen so much of it that it's like, I just like, let me figure out something. And, you know, like, now I'm kind of in it. Okay? And, you know, like I said, they're eating people. And, you know, I know a good amount of the girls. And I know a good amount of the story. I don't know everything I know about the new season. I scrolled through the Yellow Jackets tag on Twitter. So, like, but, there is one thing, because apparently there's only 8 survivors that they bring back from the plane from the rescue. Now, they are there for 19 months, 18, 19, and we just gone through the winter. Apparently, this is like this season 3, like, it's a year. So, and the pit girl thing is in the winter, and so there's like the theory that the pit girl happened right before. So I'm just saying, like, I know that they're at least there until like coming up in the winter, and somebody told me that they had done the math, and that, I don't even know how you do the math on how long eating a person should sustain you, but they did the math, and apparently they had like 20 people, 10 people died in the crash. I don't know all the specifics, but basically it is that the amount of people that died in between them being rescued, they didn't even need to kill that amount of enough people. What I'm getting to is that IMDb is saying that Hilary Swank is playing adult Melissa in the next episode that's coming out this Friday. So if Melissa is survivor number 8, made it to adulthood, she's survivor number 8, everybody else is dead, and they're in the interview saying, oh, the bodies are hitting the floor. Let the bodies hit the floor. Okay? People are dying, dropping dead. Now I'm scared. Me, I know. Nobody, no one is gonna touch Akilah. They not gonna hurt Akilah. They not gonna kill Akilah. And damn sure as hell and Skippy Joe, they not gonna eat her, cook her and eat her. And this is why I'm like, is this gonna go in the Black History Month thingy? Because there's a historical context to it. There is, and that's why I swear on everything. If they put Akilah, if the writers have all those white girls, and well, Mari is Asian, and who Ty is black? Don't do it. But still, there was Shauna, Natalie, maybe she's Italian, but you know, Natalie, Misty. Oh, jeez, Misty. Is that it? Oh wait, no, Melissa. Who else is alive right now? No, not her. Oh wait, that Shauna, Natalie, Misty, Melissa, Van. That's at least 5 white people. If they have those girls eat akilah, because guess what? Guess what they used to do back in the day. Guess what they used to do back in the day? They used to eat black people. They used to eat black people. There's actually a book. Everybody always talks about this book. Hold on. White people eating black people. Eating black eyed peas book. Ah! Excuse me. It is The Delectable Negro, Human Consumption and Homoeroticism Within U.S. Slave Culture by Vincent Woodward. Okay? $73 for the hardcover? My God. Which, yeah, I didn't know there was a little homoeroticism spin to it. It's interesting reading. Oh wow, there's a real. Hold on, wait. I'm gonna read about this a little bit. Okay. This I'm reading here. I will link this New York University. Oh, I don't fuck with NYU actually. No, this description is probably somewhere else. So, yeah, it's probably somewhere else. But, so I'll link it, but just not this one, because it's, yeah. The homoeroticism comes from, slave owners, white men are the only people allowed to own anything. And I guess they predominantly chose to eat black men. And the last sentence of the description is really interesting. Toni Morrison has this book, Beloved. I've heard it in reference in a couple of things that I've read, but I don't know what it is exactly. So when I read the controversial chain gang oral sex scene in Toni Morrison's Beloved, I didn't know that was a part of it too, which is interesting. But he examines it and concludes. He examines it and suggests that even at the end of the 20th and beginning of the 21st century, we are still at a loss for language which to describe black male hunger within a plantation culture of consumption. And so, yes, it's your voice, you hear about the book. Because it's just always been a present factor in online spaces that I've seen, because I guess it's just revolutionary like that. But now I've read it and I've deeped a little, and I'm low-key a little interested to read a little bit more. But here, let me hold on, because I really want to lay it out. Okay, I really want to lay the history out the right way. Hold on. Okay, I have some references. First is this article where the entire idea is more on why didn't the white people want to recognize that other white people ate black people, because it's the whole sort of trope of oh, black people are so barbaric and they're savages and they eat each other. And it's the case of the Arrogante, it was a Portuguese illegal slave ship, and all the slaves coming off the ship, they killed this man. They fed his body to the other slaves on the ship. And the ship owners themselves, they cooked and ate his heart and his liver. And so that the rest of that article is about because they were, every legal system. They just were just, despite all the testimonies, they kept sitting on their ass, and they just let them keep coming in until it eventually went up to the British Parliament, and they were like, I'm not here to, the article, they were like, I'm not really here to change whatever the ruling was, but to question what was the intent behind ignoring all these testimonies, and sort of like leans into how, well, not leans into, because once I realized that it was sort of like a different thing, and like I am kind of on a time crunch because I gotta go to sleep, but they brought up the question of, is it that they are unwilling to recognize that their perception is incorrect, and that, especially because, it's sort of like when the white people go over to Africa, they're like, oh my god, clutching their pearls, oh my god, why would you? And so you have all these black people who are now like, I could not believe, oh my god, that they fed him to us, and they ate him. I couldn't, it was sick. It is sick. And, like, was there sort of like an embarrassment, or like a purposeful denial that white people could be less than gracious, I guess. And right now, I was in the middle of reading this, it's from Brown EDU, and it's more specifically on like sugar, like what does it say? Visual imagination in the visual imagination in the Atlantic world, which this one specifically sugar and the specter of cannibalism. So I guess, it's like, I guess the whole website thing is about like sugar and like that sort of imagery and like what role it plays, which is really interesting. I will also be linking it, but actually let me make sure I put it in the right one. Excuse me. Link it. Okay. But this one that really struck me is is it gonna get bigger? Oh! It's the slave owner, and he's put a slave into a vat of sugar. It was a pro-slavery piece of work, and it was like a satire on a slave's testimony, where they were sharing how this did happen. A slave was put into a vat of hot sugar as a punishment by the slave owner, and that, like, there was a piece before it, William Fox, an address to the people of Great Britain on the property of abstaining from West Indian sugar and rum. And his pamphlet, Fox's, is he talks about how every time he sees, sugar, he can't visualize it without drops of blood on it. Because going before, this is French. Blood, sweat, and tears. Is it French? London, Paris. Celui qui boit mon sang, mes sueurs et mes larmes, me refuse une morceau de pain et ma somme. Frontispiece engraving in Jean Marcillac. Oh my god. Le Morlac eut essayé sur les moyens les plus durs et les plus équitables. D'abord la traite et l'esclavage des nègres d'Afrique. Yeah, but that was a long title, sorry. Oh, wait, I didn't deep it. Okay, it's an frontispiece for anti-slavery, most likely written by a European posing as a slave, but it emphasizes the blood, sweat, and tears expended by a slave in producing sugar and sweetened beverages on the table. And white cannibalism is raised in the inscription of it, where it says, "Those who drink my blood, my sweat, and my tears, refuse me a piece of bread and beat me." Okay. I see. Because I was wondering why Bird was in there. Okay. And there is more. I'm going to link it. And, like, on my own time, I'm going to read further. Mm-hmm. Oh, jeez. But yeah, it's really interesting. And going back to the Yellow Jackets, because of the historicality of it, it's like, obviously it would be, I mean, I'm not watching the show, so it's not like I'm going to see it on screen, but the concept of it is uncomfortable for the viewer. But if they for real do that, and like when they do their little hunts, they just run, and they're like, they was chasing Natalie, chasing her down crazy. Like, it was that thing is scary. Oof. And so, like, if that it was, I think it will say something about Yellow Jackets as a show. If the And listen, right? I am not saying that Akilah has to stay alive, even though that's what I want. Even though that is what I really want. Like, it's rude. If Akilah must die, because I believe, my personal belief right now, that I can believe because there's no further evidence of other proof, is that she actually said, I'm gonna stay in the woods, and she's living there in, maybe, I think there's a sort of cave sort of thing. So in those underground cave tunnel thingies, that's my belief, that's what I support. But she must die. She died of natural causes. She could maybe fall off a cliff. Ain't that what Misty did? She pushed a girl off a cliff. You can't. It's just something, because it's a cannibalistic show. That's why, like, it's not like it's just like Scream, where like, people are, it's just people dying. Like, sure, you can take things in a racial context, like like a black person dying first, and things like that. But, like, if the thing is just people die, and murder, like, there's still, like, if it's a white murderer, there's always nuance to everything, so there's going to be a nuance there. But I think what I'm saying is that for a show where they're cannibals, the nuance is louder when it comes to black people. And if they write that script gets approved. If they film that episode is approved. If they edit that episode is approved. They market that episode, the marketing is approved. Like, if we go through all those steps and not one person was like, ooh, I just, it's something about it. I don't know. I think, let's really think about this. If not one person even posed the question, I mean, we always know there's problems in Hollywood, but real problems, because that would be extremely messed up. Like, really bad. Like, and I'm thinking about the way that they usually kill people. If it's the whole hunt thing, and they hunt her down. Keep in mind, what is Akilah doing right now? She's gardening and raising bunny rabbits for them. The optics are not good. And so this is my prayer, that they that at any some simple point somebody, if this idea was ever, somebody said stop, let's think it through, let's be mindful and be conscious, and we say Akilah has to die, let's come up with a different way. I do not want to see her die the same way everybody else does. I don't want to see her die, period, but like I'm saying, she must die. She cannot die the same way in the hunt, and again, because I'm thinking, if somebody did the math and they don't need to eat all those people, if they don't need to kill all those, if they didn't need to do all that, then maybe she falls off a tree and they bury her out of respect. Let's not eat Akilah. But they don't got no respect. Didn't they eat Javi? Ooh. But like, I mean, and I really, because I care about children, so it really made me upset to say this, but I don't know, maybe if we're gonna go with that out of respect, let's not eat Akilah, even though I think it's wrong they ate Javi. Maybe it's a thing of like, they didn't know Javi, like that. It's wrong. Okay, like it's wrong, but people are also gonna say, how can you moralize these girls and they're starving and they're gonna die, and they're like, shh, it's okay. I understand that. It still made me feel uncomfortable. But like, they had to survive. So. And if there's history on white people eating Latino people, which, I mean, because I could be wrong. I could be going on this whole tangent, and maybe they never ate Javi, but I swear, like, I saw the clip where they're like, we're gonna eat Javi, and then Travis starts screaming, ah! But listen, they're like, maybe context on, because there's also been, like, that sort of, trope on, like, weren't they saying that the Mayans were cannibalistic, and like that's sort of like their savages thing, or Aztecs? Ooh, that's my bad, because why do I not know? That's wrong of me. Wait. Okay. I'm thinking Aztec because I'm thinking of their little death whistle thingy, but I'm not. There's a lapse in my knowledge, so I will fill that whole up. I will be reading, but so I'm, and also because like maybe there's historical context on that too that I should also be filling up and reading. Oh! Why'd you do that? My God. But yeah, maybe for Akilah, it's like maybe she's their age mate, and she was feeding them and raising the rabbits, and they'll be like, can't do that to her. Hopefully, maybe. I don't know. Maybe they'll. Maybe Akilah will say, "Guys, like she just fell off the tree and she still got a little life left in her, and she's like, guys, just eat me, like." And they're like, "No," and they're like, she's like, "I want you to," because it's one thing for somebody to actually say, "Eat me," and it's another for y'all to say, "She would want us to." I'm sorry. It is still so freaky to me that Shauna sat up there, Jeff's baby in her belly, and said, "She wants us to." Girl, she didn't tell you that. She didn't tell you that. Well, I'm not gonna laugh. Yeah. Oh, stop. It's not that funny. It's not that funny. Oh my god, it's not that funny. No, I'm just thinking. I'm just thinking about it in the Jackie Shauna light. I think that's. I'm trying to be tasteful. I'm trying to be decadent. So yeah, I guess there's not much to say. Honestly, this one. I mean, maybe you didn't know that white people would be eating black people, but they did. They also used to. They also used to be using black people's hair as like filling for their seats and stuff. Also used to be using black people's skin as leather. Also picnics. I might just ruin your day. Picnics, it's a French word. Didn't originally start this way, but when it hit the South, they were like, let's have a picnicker. Where white people would get together and eat their little delicatessens as they watch black people get lynched. Yeah. So, a lot of things, lot of things. They got bad context. That's why, if you've ever seen, I think, let me not say the brand and really get the brand wrong, but there was, some sort of collection where somebody, like leather. I'm pretty sure it's naturally brown, but they had made like leather bags that were designed to look like boobs, and it looked like a black woman's boobs, and it's like black people. They used to. I think there were other parts like of the collection that were in reference to body part, but like specifically that's what I saw, and it was like weird because black people's skin was used as leather. Like it's odd. It's why the designers may be thinking, oh, it's natural, and I'm just gonna put like just make a boob bag, because you can also think about the exploitation of black women and their bodies as on top of that too. But yeah, this is why it's my thing about you need to stay vigilant about biases and lapse in knowledge and other experiences, because you can end up in a scenario where you're making references to how black people's bodies and skin were used as leather for handbags and shoes and all that, and maybe that's it's not your intention, and I can acknowledge that that's not what you meant to do, but that's what it is, and that hurts people. It's hurtful. And Yellow Jackets writers room, it also things like that, like it's also helpful to have black people in the room. And I'm not saying that every black person knows everything about all of the black history ever, but just a set of eyes that is connected to that experience might be a preventer, so that you don't end up in a point where you've got that going on. Because if that really does go all the way through, it makes me think, where are the black people in the writer's room? And I guess, let me see who's in, like, black directors actually, like, are so important. Yeah, where are the black directors? Where are, I don't know if they have fact checkers, the crew, I don't know, like, I think politics also applies, but hierarchy, let me say hierarchy. I don't know the hierarchy of things on set, but, assistant directors, PAs that are allowed to talk, where black people in those positions, where I wouldn't blame the actors. I mean, like, I feel like you could still, like, say, like, hey, maybe, but it's their job to do what it's written. And I would not blame, like, I'm not gonna blame Akilah's actor for letting Akilah get eaten or anything like that. Like, who's to say that maybe if we're in that scenario, like, who's to say that, I don't know if Akilah's actor was, like, uncomfortable with that. But you're a black woman in Hollywood. How much can you voice about your uncomfortability about things? How much do you need this next paycheck so that you can keep living in your 4-foot LA apartment? Like, it's just hard. And then it comes to editing. Who's looking at this episode meticulously and saying, wait, this may be my fourth watch, but something feels weird. And who is in marketing saying you want me to allude to akilah being eaten? You want me to, you want me, so just where the black people in those spaces to ask those questions. That's, my thing. So, yeah, I just, Yellow Jackets is a very interesting show. Like, even though I'm not watching it, I still have an interest in it. So there's an interesting story there. Things are going on. I really pray to God on everything that akilah don't die, and at the very least that they don't eat her, for the betterment of everybody. Yes.